Hi. Now we are going to the poem, A Roadside Stand. As you can see the pictures here, this is a roadside stand. These are not permanent shops. These are temporary ones built by we farmers working, um, and they built it near their houses. So they are especially in many of the places you have seen it. Especially when we go to the tourist places like Wayanad or Ooty, there are many roadside stands, and the farmers who are living there, who work in the farm there, they sell their produce like carrot, and we out of curiosity we may buy or may not buy, but there are these roadside stands. So in this poem, he is telling the condition, the living style of the farmers who work and who build roadside stand of not for a living but for an extra penny, extra money. So through the poem, he tells us so many things, like how their life are, the differences between the city life, city people, and the villages. What are the changes there in the attitudes there? How these people live? What are the physical, financial, economic conditions of these people? So he is so close to these people because he himself is a farmer. He loves farming, and at the later stages of his life, we can see him doing farming. So we are going to the poem now. I think you have got the idea of a roadside stand. A roadside stand. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped, a roadside stand that too pathetically pled. It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread, but for some of the money, the cash, whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. So, this is the first stanza where he tells how these villagers have built a roadside stand. The little old house was out with a little new shed. So, they built a shed like structure. So, they have access to their house and also to the road. So the passers by can buy something, and many of the time these are the people from city who pass on the road, and they can buy from the farmers the produce they are selling now. So we can see the old house out with a little new shed. So this is like an extension of this house. They have built this new new shed in front of the edge of the road where the traffic sped. Traffic sped means where the vehicles go. Sped, the rate in which something moves. So this is how on the road, this is the route. This is the road where vehicles pass by. So they have created as an extension to their house a shed. So this is not a well furnished, well equipped building. It is like a small shed. It may be of tarpaulin sheet or wood. You know how it is. So this is such a shed. So the poem, through the owner of a roadside stand, reflects upon the life of people that are deprived or ignored by the city dwellers. City people are very busy with their life, and they are not bothered about the lives of these rural villages. So, a roadside stand, that too pathetically pled. Pathetically means pitifully. When we see such a stand itself, we feel an emotional pity towards these people. Ayyo pavam thonnunna tarathil. A roadside stand, that too pathetically pled. Pled is the past participle of plead, an emotional appeal. So it gives us an emotional appeal to the shed. The structure itself gives an emotional appeal to it. It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread. Dole is money or an amount. It would not be fair to say for a dole of bread. So this author, the poet, is telling that it is not for a dole of bread. It is not for the living that they are selling, that they have constructed this shed. They have money. They have enough money from their farming, but this particular roadside stand is for an extra money, for a little luxury that they wish to have, like the city people are having. So some income out of this shed there, from the produce that they are going to sell, they expect some money, city money, out of it. So it would not be fair to say for a dole of bread, but for some of the money, the cash, whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. So this is a great message to everyone, and this is for an extra money that they have created this shed. So they get an extra cash. So how this money flow helps everyone in a country? So it starts from these people, villagers, from the small meager amounts that they use in their daily life. It flows. It flows to the entire city, and the poet tells that the flower of cities, you cannot find the farming land or farmers or dirt or mud or soil in city. It is covered, it is decorated with flowers. We could only see bouquets or decorated flowers in all the buildings in cities. So all the flower represents the way of life that these city people are having. They are having very luxurious life. They have never been in soil. They have never worked. So all their comforts, all their pleasures, all their luxurious life is actually coming from this flow of money. If they don't work in the land, we know we don't have anything to eat, and from their small amount, spending of small amount, comes the larger business and success of a country. So he warns the city people that if you do not buy something from these people, the money flow will be stopped, and the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Otherwise you will be sinking. You have to help them to help yourself, because their money flow supports the flower of cities from sinking to destroy, to get destroyed, withering, fade away. All the pompous life or luxurious life that you are having is because of these people. So support them, otherwise you will sink, you will be drawn down. നിങ്ങളില്ലാതെ ആയിപ്പോകും, നിങ്ങൾ താന്ന് അടിഞ്ഞു പോകും, നിങ്ങൾ തകർന്ന് അടിഞ്ഞു പോകും. യു വിൽ ബി ഫെയ്ഡഡ് അവേ, വിതറിങ്, നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാം കൊഴിഞ്ഞു പോകും. സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് so he is with the villagers. He is telling city people to accept and support villages. The owner wants to be accepted by the city people. Even if they don't buy anything from his stand, he needs to be like city people. That is why he wants to earn some extra money by creating a shed like this. And the polished traffic passed with a mind ahead, or ever aside a if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with the artless paint of signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong, offered for sale wild berries in wooden cords, or crook-necked golden scotch with silver wards, or beauty rest in a peaceful mountain scene. So there are many things associated with the farmers that is explained here. The polished traffic passed with a mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment. So the poet tells that polished traffic. What is polished traffic? Polished is showing off. They are showing their um, riches. He described this Polish traffic. He uses to describe the people who live in the city. And even when they are passing through the countryside, their minds are still occupied with their profession and city life. Mind ahead. They are so preoccupied with the life in the city. So you can imagine the businessman. When you go to bigger cities like Bombay or Bangalore, people will be very busy. They will be doing, they'll be operating computers all the time. They'll be thinking something always in their mind. So when they travel to, when they will be thinking about their business or their, so it is always preoccupied with his own business. So he never minds actually. These people are ignored by these polished traffic. Polished traffic is the people who are very polished, who show off. So it is like it is a figure of speech called transferred epithet, where some, a word represents another a thing or a person. Here, polished traffic represents the people who are polished and traveling. Okay. Now, or if ever aside a moment, so they don't have a time to heed attention to these people. If ever, even if they have a moment to spend, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with the artless paint. So if they have little time to spend there, what are they doing? They are doing to inspect, to judge things that are created by the villagers, at having the landscape marked with the artless paint. So this is a beautiful countryside. They are traveling and they think like this ugly shed, this artless shed is reducing the beauty of the landscape. It is destroying, spoiling. Marred means it is spoiled, spoiling this particular shed. അവരുണ്ടാക്കിയ ചെറിയൊരു ഷെഡ് കണ്ടാൽ തന്നെ ഒരു വൃത്തിയില്ലാത്ത ഷെഡാണ്. They are spoiling this beauty of the landscape with the artless paint. So they are not artists to paint. No, they are not so literate to write. So there may be spelling mistakes. There may be not enough paint. So it is artless. It is very common man. They are uneducated, maybe illiterate, and they write with their whatever knowledge they have. They write something, and it is taken by these city people like artless paint, and they believe that this shed is spoiling the beauty of the landscape. They never thought about the condition of their life. They never think of helping these people, of artless paint, of signs that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong. So they'll be thinking about, oh, എന്ത് തെറ്റ എഴുതി വെച്ച, സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ഒക്കെ തെറ്റാണല്ലോ, എഴുതിയതിൻ്റെ സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ഒക്കെ തെറ്റാണ്. So when you go in the inner parts and when you see a roadside stand, there may be some letters written over there that may be wrong. So we notice that and we say, oh, these people, they don't know how to write. Then why are they writing? But they too want to live like city people. They are doing whatever they know. They express whatever they are aware of. So these people are just looking at the errors that have been made by the villagers, the owners of roadside stand. Offered for sale wild berries in wooden courts, or crook-necked golden squash with silver warts, or beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. So they are offered by the villagers, like the owners of roadside stand, with the wild berries and in wooden courts. So there is the wooden courts are small pots in which they measure the wild berries. I'll show you the picture of wild berries in which they give measurements. And crook-necked golden squash. Golden squash is another fruit. It is yellow in color. It looks like or cucumber sort of, but it is different. With silver warts. Silver warts are vegetables with some diseases, some errors in shape. They don't have the exact shape, or the vegetables that we export is perfect in shape and their skin is shiny. They select and export the best fruits outside, but in these stalls they sell the other leftover vegetables like golden squash with silver warts, or beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. So the poet tells that this is all a scenic beauty. So he is taking it as a painting in a mountain scene. This is a beautiful village, countryside with mountain and all. So he tells that along with it the beauty rests. So the shed also adds to the beauty of this mountain. So let's see what is wild berries. So this is transferred epithet, a figure of speech in which the syntactic relationship between two terms is interchanged. What means? That means polished traffic really represents not the traffic but the people who are traveling. Their attitude, their polished attitude, their show of tendency, that is described by the word polished traffic, that is known as transferred epithet. This is a figure of speech used here. And many of us, there are so many varieties of wild berries. This is one of them. So such plates, they measure and give, okay, this $1 for this quarter. So this is how they sell. And this is golden squash, and this is golden squash with silver warts. This this is not in perfect shape. This has some diseases. This has some sort of wart like white color on the top of it, on its skin. So such vegetables cannot be exported, so they sell it in their own sheds. So I hope you have understood all the meanings. We'll go to the next slide in the next class because it takes too much of time. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.